guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Today we're going to be talking about pendulums. I am so excited to be talking about this because while I was cleaning up and getting ready for this full moon in Aries that's coming up early tomorrow morning, like it's at 12:23 the exact time, but while I was cleaning up and preparing for that, I found my pendulum, which I've actually been looking for forever. Well, not forever. Since I moved, a lot of things got misplaced, and I've actually, if I lose something, I've used a pendulum in the past in order to find whatever it was that I lost. And the fact that I couldn't find my pendulum, I had nothing to find. I just had to wait for it to show up. I didn't set any type of intention to bring it back into my life, or for it to just kind of like unveil itself, or for me to be kind of like guided to its location. I just was busy and not thinking about it, and today just poop, here it was, and I was so ready and excited, and put it up on my Snapchat, and this is something that you wanted to talk about, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to use a pendulum. Well, let's start with what is a pendulum. So a pendulum is a tiny tool that you use for divination or communication. It's typically a weight on the bottom of, hanging from the bottom of a string of some sort, or a thread or cord, or wire or something. So mine, this is one of my favorites. It's copper. I do have a few other ones. Interestingly enough, after I found this one, all the other ones started, well, this other one appeared. And this, I'm not sure what this quartz is at the bottom, but this was given to me as a gift. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of, I'm not sure what type of gemstone this is, or what type of stone this is, but this was given to me as a gift, and I do love it. I do have a quartz one around here somewhere, but this is my go-to. So basically what you do with the pendulums is you connect with them, and you use them to get answers and clarity for your life. This is different than tarot. So with tarot cards and with oracle cards, they kind of have symbolism, like symbolic messages that come with each card that means something. With a pendulum, it's pretty straightforward. It's yes, no, maybe, unclear, ask again, like that type of stuff. So it's, if you, a lot of people, you can use the tarot cards for yes or no answers, but I highly recommend, and I can make another video on that if you want me to show you how to do that. However, this pendulum is probably the best way. Using a pendulum is the best way to find a clear, concise yes or no, maybe, whatever answer whatever it is that you're looking for. So it doesn't really have to be anything fancy. I did want to talk about, you know, a DIY for how to make your own pendulum in the event that you don't have one, or you lost one like me. But this one, I just, you know, divination, tarot, and using your intuition, those types of things are the things that I'm into. It's what I do for my life, like literally, like this is my life. So I did invest in this one. I think it was maybe like 44 or something. I got it in a metaphysical shop somewhere in Florida. When I saw it, I fell in love, and I knew that I had to have it. So there's few things on the face of this earth that I just look at it and I'm like, mine. So I'm not really a materialistic type of person, but when I find something and know that I have to have it, then it comes with me, and it sticks with me, and it stays with me for life. And this is just one of those things. So how do you use it? Basically, with everything that you use, with any tool that you bring into your life, you really want to develop a relationship and a connection with it. And the best way to do that is, what I recommend and what I do is I sage it first, and I sit with it, and I hold it in my hands, and I bless it and ask that it connects with me, and I see if there's any type of information or anything that it wants to give me within that moment. And I also surround myself and the object in white, healing white light and love energy before I even use it for yes, no answers, anything. Just because these tools, especially copper, it has it picks up energy. So you just want to make sure that if you're going to use it, that it be completely positive. With everything I do, there's always love, light, white light, positive energy surrounded by it. That's just to the core of my core, that's just my own personal morals. People do use them for negative things. I don't. I always have used it for internal guidance, confirmation, clarification, those types of things. That is in alignment with my highest and greatest good, and also anybody that I'm working with. So I highly suggest that you do the same thing too, because you don't want to like ask a question and then, you know, some tiny demon, not that that's going to happen, unless you're like trying to actively channel that, but let's say something like negative wants to work with you, or you didn't protect your space in the right way, or you forgot to protect your space, starts moving the pendulum around, it starts giving you answers that kind of guide you just totally down the wrong path. So you just want to make sure that everything that you do is blessed, and that your space and your energy is clear, and that you're working with white light and positive energy, and that would be a reflection. So there is something I do want to say. I'm always 100% straightforward with everything. I always tell the truth. I'm always honest. And I'm also skeptical. So when I first started looking at pendulums and stuff, I needed proof that, I mean, I knew that it was crazy, like how they work. And if you say yes, if you say no, and if you ask it to stop and to be still, it will respond to you. And we can talk about that, and I can show that to you. But I noticed that sometimes our thoughts, when you ask a question, it can influence the spin and the rotation or the movement of the pendulum. So before you use your pendulum, I like to say that outside of, you know, blessing your space and setting the intention that only white light and positive energy, and for your highest and greatest good for everyone, especially for yourself when you're working with it, not only do you want to set that tone, but you also want to kind of put it out there that the answers that you get to the questions that it is that you're seeking the answers to, that the pendulum not reflect the things that you want to hear or your own thoughts. So if you set that intention and you communicate that to the pendulum and to your spirits and to your guides, you won't have that problem of, you shouldn't have that problem of your own hopes and wishes, as far as like what answer you want to hear kind of channeling through and moving the pendulum. That's something that I've noticed with people using them, and then also when I was a beginner and I was using them, my thoughts were influencing the direction of the pendulum, and it's just futile and pointless for you to consult this for guidance or use this as a tool for guidance and then allow your mind to kind of influence the answer. It's just like, I mean, you don't have to ask the question of what it is that you want to know. Like, you know what the answer is that you want to hear. And the pendulum, I mean, it's not gonna, it's just a tool. So if you're using the tool in the wrong way, then your own thoughts and your own wishes are going to channel through, versus you know, using your higher intuition or working with your guides or your angels, or with whoever. So let me just kind of move this because the light is starting to change. I feel like I just went back into the sun again. But anyways, okay, so how to use. So we've already set our space, we've already blessed our space and our environment, and we set the tone and the intention for a positive white light to work with us. And then we also have pushed our own thoughts and our wishes out of the factor, like out of the deciding factor of what the answer will be. You want to know how to use it, right? So you have this long cord right here, and what I like to do, the longer the cord is, right, if you hold it from the top, the longer the cord is, the longer it takes for it to start moving. So it'll start moving all by itself for the most part, and this is just it saying yes. So what I like to do is wrap the cord around my fingers using my index finger and my thumb, just like this. Can you see that? And I hold it over my palm. And the reason why I do this is because you are exchanging and creating like a conduit of energy, if that makes sense. I think I'm using that word correctly, but I'm not really. If I am, just comment below and correct me, feel free. But pretty much, and I put it in front of my heart chakra. So you can see that my hand is here on my breastbone, and then my fingers are here, and I just ask it to kind of center, to still and center itself. So I'm going to lift my hands up because of the way that my phone is sitting, but just imagine that this is right in front of my chest. Just imagine that it's in front of my heart. So you can ask it to still itself. And what I suggest is that you are developing, especially if this is your first pendulum, that you create a relationship and a conversation between you and your pendulum. So you ask, okay, show me what yes is. And for me, yes is a circle in a counterclockwise motion. That's universally has always been my yes. And then you can say, let me see if I can get this closer to you. Still yourself, but I did move my hand, so it is still. And the other thing is I can feel the energy moving between my hand. This hand especially is always about picking up energy for some reason for me. And then you can ask it, now show me no. And it'll start to swing. Now my hands are shaking a little bit, so hopefully I can make a better video of this for you. But typically what happens is, let me see if I can scoot up closer. Typically what happens is it will spin or show its direction. So show me no. See how it just changed direction? And now is a straight line that goes from left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. So it's hard to see on a camera, and I promise you guys, I am not moving my hand. I've done this in person before with some of my friends who were not skeptical. Well, yeah, they were skeptical, and I understand that. I always say with everything before you believe anything, definitely test it with your own, you know, whatever it is that you have to do in order to test the truth. Don't believe everything you hear. Make sure that you have proof. So I'm going to put my hand, and I just wish I had a better way of showing this to you, but I'm not moving my hand, and so we've established yes. See, it's moving in a yes. And then we'll say no. What does no look like? Straight line, left, right, and in this case it feels right to left, right to left. I feel the energy literally coming through my left palm. Like I really feel it strongly there. So show me what it looks like when an answer is unclear. Unclear to me is I want to say from the far right to the far up left. Right bottom, up left, left up. I don't know how to say that, but it's kind of like neat. And then what does maybe look like? So maybe it's the opposite. See how it changed direction pretty quickly? I don't know if you can see this, but it's definitely changing for me. So that's something that you want to hold on to and remember is what yes, no, maybe unclear looks like. And those are the things that I suggest for you to establish as far as ways of answers from the pendulum. I do want to say that to also add on the answer of unclear. If the answer is unclear, typically for me, the pendulum will just become very, very still and it'll stop moving. But it should be, I recommend yes, no, maybe, and unclear, or like ask again, like one of those types of things, okay? Okay, so you can use your pendulum in ways outside of yes, no answers. One of them is by checking your chakras. This was something that was taught to me by an amazing shaman woman who lives in Florida. She's phenomenal. She would use her pendulum to balance and check the balance of the chakras, and pretty much if a chakra was in alignment and in good flow, then it would turn in the yes motion. If a chakra was blocked or needed healing type of work and energy, then it would shift in like a no. So you can just kind of move through your chakras from your root chakra and move all the way up just to see which ones need your attention, and then taking your hands or using Reiki treatment in order to send energy, positive energy to that space in order to clear it out so that the alignment of the chakra is back in a positive flow and movement. One of my favorite things of using the pendulum is, outside of asking yes or no questions, is finding things with your pendulum. I have literally walked around my room, and this is not for beginners, but you could definitely play with it, beginners. Like, don't have fear with it. But this is not for beginners. This is when you have a strong communication and you understand fluently the language between you and your pendulum. But you can walk around your room and find stuff with your pendulum, and it'll show you, okay, is it in like the left direction? And if it spins yes, then go in the left direction. If it spins no, then you ask, is it in the right direction? Is it behind me? Is it forward? So it will take you in the right direction that it is that you need to go in order to find the object that it is that you're looking for. Now, then you can like take it step by step by step. So let's say I'm looking for my Cheez-Its, which after this video, I'm probably gonna have some Cheez-Its because I love Cheez-Its. But anyways, okay, so let's say I'm looking for my Cheez-Its, and I'm here in my room now, and I'm looking for some Cheez-Its, and I say, okay, is it to the left? And my kitchen is to the left. And the pendulum says yes. And then I'm standing in front of the window. Is it outside the window? And the pendulum spins no. Is it in the sink? Is it under the cupboard? No, no, no. Is it in the cabinet? Spin it in front of the cabinet, and the pendulum says yes. And then you open the cabinet, like put it in front of the right things, or right in front of different objects until the pendulum spins yes, and then move them outside of the way, and then lo and behold, you find your Cheez-Its. And I've done that for wallets, I've done that for purses, I've done that for keys. I have a really interesting story. I mean, this video is already kind of long, but one time I was late for something, and I could not, for the life of me, find my keys, my car keys. And they were in no way, shape, or form where they were supposed to be. There's designated spots, so I ended up having to get creative. I had a deadline, I had somewhere that I needed to be, it was an appointment time, it was serious, it would have been detrimental if I didn't make this appointment time. So I naturally was freaking out. I needed my car to get there. I was calling up all my friends, and they were like, I can't help you, I can't help you, I can't help you. So I needed my car keys. So I'm sitting there walking around my room with my pendulum spinning, waiting for it to make a decision. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And it kept on taking me to the window. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm looking at the window. Is it up? Is it down? Is it like, you know, and like, where is it? And the pendulum is saying it's in the window. It's like in the window. Like, it's in the window. I'm looking out of the window. And I'm like, is it outside? And it says no. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at the window right now, and I don't see my keys. I'm getting really frustrated with the damn thing. And the pendulum just like starts to shut down. Like, the spiritual world or angels, guides, the pendulum, it will get an attitude with you, and it will tell you over time, stop asking me the same damn question. I've answered this multiple times. The answer is it's in the window. So pretty much that was the vibe that the pendulum was throwing back in my face. And I finally was just like flung open the window, and my keys, and I mean, I got to the point too where I just was like, this is bullshit. Like, I was just like, you're messing with me, spirits. Like, you guys know, like, I really was getting emotional. I'm like, you guys know how important this is to me. You're gonna take me to this window, and my keys are obviously not there. Like, I really was getting emotional. And so I fling open the window, and my keys are sitting in between the screen and the window pane. It was like this old apartment building, and they were just sitting right there. And I was like, "Aw, sorry." Like, you know, when you have to apologize, and you're just like, you know what, you were right. I'm sorry. So, okay, so that's one way that you can use it outside of yes, no. Also, you can use it for communication with spirits. Ouch. Like, let's say, and again, this is something that you also want to make sure that you are blessed the space and using positive energy, and only working with, you know, positive and spirits and entities, or whatever it is. That's not something that I typically do. I kind of leave the spiritual world alone, in the sense of like spirit, like people who have passed over, simply because they come to me anyways by themselves, so I don't actively seek them. And then also, I'm a sensitive, so it takes a lot of energy to kind of like create this like space and this barrier between me and it. Also, it's draining, it's emotional, and it just takes a lot out of me. So it's not something that I actively seek. I typically just work with my own personal spirit guides, in the sense of like my angels, my guardians, those types of things. They understand my energy. I know them like first name basis, and they don't exhaust me of stuff. However, if it's like I'm talking with like someone who has passed on, it really can be like, it just, I mean, if I spend an hour or 30 minutes seeking them and talking to them, then I'm gonna need the rest of the day to, you know, build back my energy up, just because it's just always been my experience. So I don't have time for that. And usually they come forward their own way, but you can absolutely use your pendulum just in the same way that you would use like an Ouija board, with just like writing down the letters A, B, C, D, you know, and then on over each word, just kind of allowing it the chance to spin over A if the answer is A, B if the answer is B, C. It takes a while, but it will spell out some interesting stuff for you, so that's something that you can do. It's warned all the time, don't do anything like this by yourself, but I just feel as though the main thing that you don't want to do by yourself is use an Ouija board. I don't really recommend using an Ouija board if you're not 100% comfortable with it, if you don't know how to bless your space, if you don't know how to protect your energy, and if you don't know how to set the intention to work with only positive things, because it can really work as a portal to kind of like bring in negative stuff, and you don't want that. I mean, most of you guys don't want that. If you're on my channel, chances are you don't want negative things coming in and happening to you. You're looking for positive experiences for the most part. Okay, so that's another way that you can use your pendulum. So I did promise you a tutorial, I guess, of ways to create your own pendulum in the event that in a pinch you need one, or you can't find one, or you don't have one, whatever the circumstance, or you just want to mess around with it but you don't want to invest in creating one. So you can use, what I like to do is recommend like using a personal item. So in this case, I'm going to use my ring. It's amber, it has a crystal in it. You can use whatever you want. I did grab some items here. So this is another quartz necklace. It's a double pointed quartz that I've gotten as a gift that I use as a necklace, because that's what it is, it's a necklace. Or you can use other things, like I just happen to have this binder clip here. So you can use that, but basically what you want to do is use something that is heavy, that has weight, and a cord of some shape or form. So in this case, I have this necklace. You can use the necklace as a pendulum, which is really awesome for those of you that need to stay discreet with whatever it is that you're doing, because, you know, there's a stigma around these things. But so you could always use a necklace if you wanted to as a pendulum. So this looks pretty, like, I mean, if I went to Target like this, people wouldn't be like, oh, what is that? Witch, burner. Like, they're not going to get like crazy. It's just going to look like a really pretty quartz necklace, or I'm going to look different or whatever. I don't know. But you could always pull it off and then shorten it and then use it to, you know, spin to get answers or to see what kind of shows up. See? Already high vibration. So now be still. Still. Crazy, right? I'm not moving, you guys. I'm not moving. Because I know some people are going to be like, your arm's moving. No, it's not. I promise. Or you can use a ring and a string here. I use this for this twine for BehatiLife orders. When I'm making custom oils and bottles, I typically wrap them in beautiful tissue paper and wrap them in twine, because I want them to be bound and pretty and beautiful for you guys. Sometimes I even tuck herbs in them, so that when you open up your box, you get a wonderful, nice smell. But either way, I'm using a cord here and my ring, and you can use that as well. So pretty much you just want to make sure that the item at the bottom is heavier than the cord itself, and you can spin all you want to and get answers and get clarity and get guidance. Yeah. So I hope that made sense. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I know this video was a little long. I know that the quality is a little low because I'm recording from my iPhone, but I wanted to get the information out to you super fast. Yeah, so if you have any questions, comment below. I have been way better at checking at that than I ever have. And I also want to invite you to follow me on the Instagram, BehatiLife, or Snapchat, BehatiLife, where I put snippets of my life and what I'm doing and the oils that I'm making and the astrology charts that I'm looking at and the chart of the moment. All of those things can be found on Snapchat and BehatiLife, or you can visit my website, BehatiLife.com, and see everything there. And of course, I'll put those the links below so you can find them really easy. But until then, so glad to be back on the YouTube channel. I'm so glad to be able to talk with you guys one-on-one. And I love you. I just do. Okay? Bye.